Well, welcome everyone to the 2020 Labyrinth Squadron Championship. We have our final match, possibly one, maybe two matches tonight as we conclude our double elimination bracket. Excited to be once again seeing Paul on the left here with his droids and plenty of prox mines to go around. And on the right, I've got Craig, who's bringing his 3 arcs plus Anakin in that ETA 2 Actus. So this is a rematch of an earlier game where Craig was able to squeak out a win over Paul, do some fancy flying and some prox mine avoidance. But Paul has managed to make his way through the last chance bracket back into the finals, facing Craig here on this Thursday night in a very, very snowy and cold Washington, D.C. And I'm joined once again by my co-commentator, my partner in crime, Jesse. How you doing?
I'm doing great, Tom. This is a nice little midweek finals match between these guys. As you mentioned, Craig is the resident Goliath, as he is 3-0 at the moment, and little David Paul, however, is loading that slingshot, coming up for to hit him twice with it. I guess I'm running out of analogies here. That's the extent of my religious undertones. Yeah, we'll see if David and Paul can take down Craig 2 times in a row here.
And just like little David has got plenty of rocks in that slingshot of his. With 12 prox mines loaded and ready for bear in these droids, and we got to see Paul on stream 3 times, and each time we saw those prox mines used to great effect. And so Craig, having seen this match, is already knows the kind of area of denial those prox mines can deliver, and I think they're both ready for a pretty long slog here.
Oh, for sure. I like this reference. We'll keep it up to make sure we don't overuse it. But yeah, I don't know how this is going to pan out. Craig eked out a victory last time, which largely due to the fact that he was able to sneak by the field of mines that Paul had laid for him. So I don't know if the same approach would work this time around. I don't know who has to change their strat. If you're Craig, do you kind of do the same thing and make Paul adapt? And if it doesn't work and he does adapt, then you have a cushion of a win that you can afford to give up, right?
Right.
Whereas if you're Paul, you gotta this is it. You gotta run your fastest, hit your hardest in this last match.
Yeah.
So.
Well, let's do two things. Let's for those who weren't privy to the matches over the weekend, let's go ahead and just run through these lists real quick on both sides, and then I kind of want to let you talk a little bit about opening moves here, since we've seen both of these guys in action a couple times now. What you think in terms of kind of ideal openings and how these guys are going to be feeling each other out in the first third of this game.
Sure. So the list, real quick. Paul's running 6 Techno Union bombers, which is the Hyena droid for CIS. Each one has 2 charges of proxy mines and landing struts, and then 2 of them in red and yellow, who are positioned on the front left and front right, each have Discord missiles. So everybody with mines and struts and 2 sets of Discord missiles. Pretty basic. I like it. Pretty simple. And then they're saying they're set in chat. Tom, we good to go?
Yep, we are set to go.
All right, fantastic. I am acting as a pseudo judge for this, but yeah, you got it. Didn't know if I needed to chime in. The list for Craig, we have the ETA 2 Anakin with just Predator to really capitalize on that bullseye that he really wants to get. And then he has 3 ARC 170s. One is Wolf, who's naked, who allows for rerolls out the front and extra die out the back. And then 2 104th Battalions, one of which is running the Wolfpack upgrade, which gives him a little extra punch on his next turn by acquiring locks.
Nice.
So both pretty basic, pretty easy to follow, pretty simple list, which I've started to like. Instead of loading up list with a whole bunch of upgrades, pick a few essentials and run with it. Get that extra body in there. And on Paul's side, it's 6, and on Craig's side, an extra 104th Battalion is a lot better than a whole bunch of upgrades, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So, I feel like I've rambled on quite a bit. I guess I'm caffeinated for it. It's the end of the week, Tom. This is nice, dude. We only got one more day of work,
Yeah, no,
and then we can hang out, right?
yeah. I mean,
So.
I think a Thursday final is kind of the ideal night for some of this action, and I think viewers will notice that we are, despite this being a championship match, we are not making this an extended game. This is a typical 75-minute game of X-wing, no bells, no whistles, just straight normal X-wing action. So we will not see a lot of delay from these two, I think, in terms of kind of setting up and getting this opening engagement, as much, no more so than usual, at least, based on the time limit they have.
You wanted me to go over opening moves, and
Mm-hmm.
we just saw Paul miss his opening barrel roll for
Mm-hmm.
that green
Mm.
bomber.
I did see that.
So I hope that doesn't really mess up his strategy here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and as far as like what each opponent wants to do, I mentioned this before, but you've always got your beatdown player versus your control player in every match, and in this one it's pretty easy to see who the beatdown is, which is usually the swarm, the lower initiative. You have to kind of gang up on bigger pieces in order to take them down.
Mm-hmm.
Thus the beatdown connotation there. And then the control is the person who can react.
Mm-hmm.
To relate this to chess, which has been pretty popular right now, white is the control player because they no, I'm sorry, black is the control player because they have to react to what white is doing.
Mm-hmm.
So Paul's going to try to get all 6 of his arcs in on one of Craig's ships, hopefully the Eta-2, which is the direction that he's taking right now.
Mm-hmm.
So Craig needs to figure out how to pick one-on-one fights with his superior ships and not get Anakin in too rough of a position. I doubt he'll have as much luck this time around as he did last time.
Yeah. Now one thing that I'm kind of noticing right off the bat here, both with that early kind of failed barrel roll and the general state of the board, something that kind of I think I saw Craig mention during the week is that he took initiative here because his actual pilot initiatives are kind of meaningless when it comes to most of the phases of this game, actually all phases. And
Yep.
so I think the reason he took that initiative, in his words, were to be able to take some of Paul's rocks, at least put the first rock on the table. And it seems like Craig has clustered the rocks on his side of the board, basically kind of giving those landing strut platforms a wide distance from where Paul starts. Now, how do you think that's going to factor into where this game may end up going?
Oh, I think you're completely right. And I was talking with Paul a little bit. That they both want opposite rock placement because the CIS player Paul wants rocks near him clustered together so that wherever he has a rock, that essentially is open space for him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so he wants them to where he can easily access them and do shenanigans and get dice and et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
Paul, on the other hand, like you said, wants rocks near him so he can fly past them and they're not part of the game anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So here's something interesting we're seeing here. Paul is, right now it looks like they're going to kind of toilet bowl around each other, for lack of a better analogy, with the arcs going away from the camera and the CIS ships coming towards it.
Mm-hmm.
Paul has 2 charge on those proxy mines, so that's a preventative control mine, it looks like.
Yeah, it's a don't flank me on the back of the board, bro, kind of move.
Yeah, and I don't. It's up to. I don't know if it'll come into play or not, but it at least makes Craig think a little bit more about some of his moves coming around the flank. You're right.
Yeah, now there's a couple funny things here too. So we saw Anakin kind of taking this lower board position. My thought was, okay, well he's got plenty of room between that gas cloud and the rock. Maybe he bails out through there. But he did take a system phase. Well, okay, this is why he took a system phase barrel roll so that he could do a hard one back towards the top of the board and maybe dash behind that rock. So that was a good bailout kind of position for that maneuver. And another thing that I kind of notice here is that and I see it kind of coming together here. We've had the benefit of seeing Craig and Paul play a few games, and I think I've always kind of seen this general lined up cluster of arcs for Craig. And in this opening, he actually spread Wolf out way wide, giving him more of a kind of a diagonal path through the middle of the board, like not really the middle of the board, but the middle of the board diagonally, while his 2 kind of I2 arcs are really holding on to that center space.
Correct. Yeah, if you are the control player, then you react to the enemy. So it's easier for you to manipulate your maneuvers a little bit and barrel roll or adjust as you see the board develop, whereas the CIS player, the lower initiative, has to kind of pick something and run with it. So by spreading his arcs out more, he does give more angles, more lanes, more control area that he is able to cover. So I like it. If you don't need to fly together, then you likely should not.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the CIS, they have network calculations that is dependent on range 1, so they're strongest when they are a blob, right?
Yeah.
So and yeah, he did the so Anakin did the little whisper move there, which was the decloak to one side and then one hard back in.
Yeah.
And you're right, it did give him options now. Anytime you can make a choice with your higher initiative pilots, like Anakin's doing right now, he's going to barrel roll, right? So does he barrel roll away from the swarm and continue to get distance, or does he take a more aggressive approach? I think I know the answer, but every time you have a choice for someone, then it opens the door for them to misread what you're going to do.
Absolutely.
So I like it.
Yeah. Now the trick is with Anakin here is if with that, I guess it's going to. Anakin's still pretty swift, so the idea of him kind of ducking around that rock to the kind of board east is not necessarily going to put him out of the fight for that long if he wants to be out of it. But it's still a big intimidating swarm there, and so the thought of turning into Anakin, in front of those arcs or kind of too early here around that rock back into the fight, still seems like a pretty daunting choice to have to make for Craig's part. So there's a really that kind of swarm of bombers really do a nice job of kind of sweeping the kind of area of effect in front of them, really making Craig have to make a lot of difficult choices if he does want to play conservatively with Anakin here, because Anakin still is the closest ship relatively speaking to the swarm. So I'm gonna take some real thought.
So these lanes, I talked about that earlier. The arcs, they do have the barrel roll, but they don't. It's not their favorite thing to use because it is red, and then they don't have a myriad of blues on their dial. So Wolf is going to have to turn in and barrel roll, and that center rock that Paul placed. He wants the rocks near his board so he can interact with them, but that center one is already looking like it is interfering with these arcs trajectory.
Absolutely.
Do you agree?
Absolutely. No, I was actually thinking about it earlier because I having played some arcs early on 2.0 and played some other ships along the way of medium base. I always remember how difficult it can be to really kind of, once you get in the thick of the obstacles, how difficult it can be to kind of maneuver them through in a way that keeps them on target and where you want them to be. And Craig has that kind of doubly so here with his two arcs coming through the middle of the board, where the yellow arc has kind of a little more clearance to get down if he really wants to engage those bombers in the bottom left of the board, which I'm not sure if that's what he wants yet. But if he does, green arc still has to make a wide turn around this rock to the north, or follow yellow and potentially lose the range for that opening engagement. So it's that middle rock does create a big. I mean, honestly, I think it's kind of a little bit of a headache here for Craig in this opening because these arcs, they want to be kind of just like you said, they want to be kind of engaging the swarm at the same time. They don't want to be caught out individually. And to kind of make sure that happens with some of these big obstacles, even the gas clouds can present a little bit of a problem too. Look at this. So red has dropped both prox mines.
Both bombs here. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah,
and he's also dropping one with brown.
So Paul,
not so sure that that Wolf would continue to flank along that trajectory. But
she sure as hell isn't now.
That's true. Yeah, maybe depending on how Paul plans on flying here.
Wow. This is
he's making a wall.
I guess what it's funny when you have 12 munitions, in this case proximity mines at your disposal, you get to the end of the game and you see that you've got 6 charges unused, which always feels bad, right? When you bring something to the fight, you
for sure.
It. Yeah. But at the same time, it's always the conundrum of the unused versus what was perfect at the right time. So let's hope that Red never gets in a spot where he really wants to drop a prox mine Anakin and has got nothing left in the tank.
Right, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a gamble. There's nothing wrong with a good gamble in a game like this, but you play the odds.
Yep. Paul doing the series of maneuvers with 3 hards and barrel rolls that lets you swap the trajectory of the rectangle to where you always want your broadside facing the enemy.
Yes.
That way you have the most guns on them. You want in a 2x3, you want the 3 facing them.
Yeah.
And that's what he's done here very well.
Mhm.
He's right back in formation with the rectangle that's flipped. It does bug me whenever I see swarm players who don't get that, and suddenly they just have 2 guns at the front of their swarm, and it makes them 50% less threatening.
Yeah. When I started playing, when I started playing TIE Swarm in the heyday a year and a half ago, it was my first real like 2x3 box flying, and I sat down at a table with just bases and just practiced over and over again to make sure that I would do just what you said, which is fly the broadside first and never get into that skinny column towards the end.
Oh, it's important.
Yeah.
And that's why Paul's here, right? He's won 4 or 5 games. How many did he have to win to get here?
He won 4 to get here.
Okay. Lost 1 down in the losers bracket, and now he's 1 back up.
Yeah, but but the thing is, he won 2 in the top bracket, and then this is his second elimination game in a row. So Paul, definitely playing with that kind of chip on his shoulder here. So we're gonna see early on if that red gets strained. It does. Inconsequential for now, inconsequential going forward because he'll definitely blue next round to clear that stress as well.
Correct. Yeah, he didn't care about that too much. Yeah. Yep.
But you can kind of see here the setup of trying to get those arcs through the obstacles, and Craig has opted to bring his green arc down the board and probably trail a little bit behind yellow next round. But Wolf has a little bit more clearance here to kind of do maybe a big 3 bank and start coming in here from behind. So convergence is definitely possible here for these arcs pretty quickly.
You're absolutely right. Except for the fact that I am looking at the dial here. So the arcs only have 1 and 2 straights and blues, straights and banks that are blue.
Oh, it's stressed. I'm sorry. I forgot it was stressed up there. Yeah.
So okay, Wolf and yellow are both stressed. I'm not sure. So Wolf will be coming short, which I think this is the turn. If you're Paul, you got to recognize that he can't take that 3.
Yeah.
Which is a big difference. It's basically a base length. So he's going to be coming in short. They can't boost. So you've got a long range from red. Yellow has to also, since he's now stressed from doing that barrel roll that I mentioned that they don't like. I don't think yellow can do a blue maneuver straight or bank that does not hit the cloud unless he faces away from the swarm.
Agreed.
So yellow's going to come in untokened more than likely. Green seems like he has a 1 bank if he wants to face the cloud, or a 2 hard if he wants to try to work around that. But I think the move is when you pounce with this swarm.
I would totally agree. I think it's a good time to catch one guy out. Yeah, totally agree.
Yes, I think yellow is a prime target here for the swarm.
You know what's I really enjoy while we're saying dials here about to move about this game is that this is the product of 2 players who have clearly thought about this match all week and have a strategy, an opening strategy in mind. I mean, you've got Paul kind of closing down his kind of backside with these mines and kind of as a rear kind of defense, and you've also got Craig, who has clearly had this idea of using Anakin as a way to bring these droids to the bottom of the board, where his arcs then kind of come bear down on them while Anakin skirts around it. So they both had a very specific opening strategy, and that's kind of fun to see which of these will kind of bear out the best for the opening round of engagement.
I will say that from the game state right now, it seems that Craig has kind of been corralled. Because he doesn't quite have that kill box that you want to have with multi-angles and multi-ships.
Yep.
And he has 3 of his ships in a very close quarter, with only 2 of them being able to help out each other in yellow and green. Anakin could 3 hard behind green and start to help fire, add to the firepower here, but then that also kind of messes with his next turn trajectory too.
Exactly.
So this turn is going to be crucial.
All right. So Paul still not quite pouncing like you're hoping, Jesse, but
I kind of wish we had seen like a 2 bank from the swarm there. That's their only bank move that is white.
Yeah.
And 2 bank from, I think Paul has clearly got here for a reason, but I do think that you should have pounced here. We'll see how it pans out. But
it is funny. I think this is probably the 14th time that we've watched Paul play, and you have begged and pleaded for a pounce, and Paul's played conservatively. So we'll see.
That's true. That's true. He's done well with it. Yeah.
Yeah, but you see, but I think there is some obvious validity to your point though about the fact that now you're looking at maybe getting two of your hyenas with a shot on yellow through a cloud, and next
Correct.
round you're probably going to have to deal with two, maybe even three arcs who are going to have shots on you.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I wish we had seen red and brown turn it like bank in,
Mhm.
and then everybody else go as fast as they can to make that gap.
Yeah.
Um,
So here we see that kind of arc net closing, and this is gonna
Yep.
this is it's a fun match in the sense that you've got the bulk of these two lists both are threatening out of their rear arcs in different ways. So as these ships kind of have their open engagement and then fly past each other, there's still plenty of kind of maneuvering and bullying to be done by both sides.
Yeah. Yeah. They're both threatening from both ends, right?
Mhm.
They're what's the saying? If you're homesick, you're like I was having trouble out both ends or something. I don't know.
Right.
Let's keep it. You know what I'm trying to get at.
I understand. So here we
Yeah,
see
yeah.
here we see Anakin doing what you would suspect might be the case. We're kind of trailing behind here.
I think he's got to reinforce here. I think to his benefit, he
Mhm.
didn't have. We're dropping a Discord missile with that front one.
I
On the
like
good.
this a lot. I think we're finally going to see after 3 games with Paul one of those Discord missiles hit.
um, he might be able to avoid that with yellow actually, but we'll see on next turn. If he goes straight and he bumps, he won't.
Yeah.
In green, yeah, we'll see.
But I
I
mean,
think it's a good spot.
point,
I do
if he
think
makes
you drop it.
if he makes them break off to avoid it, then I think it's even better. I mean, that's
Also good. Right. You're right.
they're doing the box on the board.
Yeah, we're attacking here. Can you see that?
I
Do you
can
have that up?
I know the dice came up. They've got to do it on the table.
Oh, I'll tell him.
If you go ahead and unlock that box and just delete it.
Okay.
So do we get any damage from that roll? I don't believe we did. Yeah, 2 evades and yeah, so we're good.
I'm gonna change my color.
Mhm.
We might have to catch that back up with here in just a second.
No worries. There was no
We got
damage.
3 hits coming in now, and we only have 1 evade from.
This is from the bomber. Okay, so we got 1 damage going to red because
Yep,
the gas cloud. This was red to red. So
Yep.
red will take 1 damage there. First blood of this game down to 4 health. And for our last shot from Craig here will be 3 dice against 3 through cloud. They're still rolling off the table, aren't they?
Yep, I'm gonna delete it. I'm gonna interfere with their game. They're gonna be so mad.
Mm-hmm.
Hold on just a second. Let me hold on.
There we go. They got it now. So a second damage and a third damage going into, and a fourth, a crit going into red as he rolls a total blank out. Wow, what an opening. And we have a crit dropping. I think that's a disabled. Quite sure. That is a wild shot to be taking at range, I guess range 2 through a gas cloud. So unfortunate opening here for Paul. He still has 1 more shot coming to red, maybe taking his 1 shot at the table this round.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay. I don't know if you saw that, Jesse. Presumably you did, but red just took a.
I did not.
Red took a hit crit off a blank out through the gas cloud, and it's down to 1 health. So fortunately survives. Rolling 2 evades there, but.
Craig, that's huge if he survives then. Yes, yeah. Nice.
Craig absolutely decimating red with 4 damage, including crit. Do you mind reading off what that crit is for me, Jesse, for red over there?
Yes, red has a disabled power regulator. He's ioned next turn.
Okay.
Which is a big deal in the event that he lives here. You really want to block with that lead guy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's gonna telegraph his position.
Yeah. So here we go with that shot from red into, I believe, yellow.
Yep. He's going to calculate
for 2, and we will roll 1 back because the strain goes from 0 back to 1 with the obstruction. So we take a shield off of yellow, 2 shields off of yellow.
Yep. I don't know if that was obstructed or not, but perhaps it was not. We got green into yellow here, 2 hits.
Nice consistency on those early rolls. And yeah, it's totally fine. All right, so after that opening exchange, we're going to see 2 shields off of yellow, the arc on Craig's side, and we're going to... Oh, sorry, all 3 shields are down on yellow. And we've got red, both ionized... Oh, sorry, we have more shots here. I don't know why I'm jumping the gun here.
I think your damage on blue bomber is incorrect, Tom. Nathan pointed it out on your stream overlay. I can't see it.
Oh, this is left over from last time. Haha, that's why I don't reuse stuff. Thank you, Nathan. There we go. Now the points are actually correct, too.
Yeah, red should have 4 damage on him.
That we've got. So 19 on the board, or sorry, 18 on the board for Craig right now. We'll see how much damage that Paul can continue to do into yellow or green here now. Oh, there's a blank out.
Yeah, he's swapping targets here so that he doesn't have to shoot through the cloud.
Totally understand here. So we're going to take 2 more shields off of green. And now we're going to trigger the front row, it looks like here. So ionized red as he opens his shot here. He's got an unobstructed shot into green if he takes it. At range 2. There we go. Plenty of calculates left to spend. He's going to go ahead and spend that calculate for 2 hits. And he's going to put in another 2 damage into green, so into the hull on green. There's a lot of damage happening in this first engagement here on both sides.
Tom, I think you have incorrect damage shown on brown as well.
Brown. Oh, there we go. All back up to normal now, I think. 5 across the board. Yeah, it should do it.
All right. Yeah, so I kind of think Paul came out slightly ahead there since he didn't lose that red bomber. Although the bomber is only going 1, and he really wants it to go like 3, right?
Yeah, right.
So that he can run up there.
Yeah,
I think they're discussing Discord missiles. You can hit your own Discord. If you're in the bomber, it does not hurt you.
Gotcha.
So you can run it over rather.
Yeah. Does it pick it up, or does it just go through?
Oh, no, it just you ignore it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. So we have 7 total damage there going into Craig's list, split out between both green and yellow, those arcs. And on Paul's side, we've got 1 damage left on red, who took 4 hits that round, including a disabled power regulator, which ionized him. So definitely a
green is also showing a damage, Tom.
Oops.
If you don't have that up.
Green is.
The 104th.
Gotcha.
And on your overlay, to point all this out to you live, you have crit on blue bomber, which doesn't need to happen.
Oh, one thing I've got to point out to our audience, that there's a problem with the overlay with the ETAs right now. So ignore the shields on Anakin. I'll try to cover that up like the other streamers do too. But that is a bug in the system. Let's see if I can fix the square for that.
You mean he doesn't have 3 shield upgrades on him?
No, not in this case. Here, I'll go ahead and cover that up. Now it's covered up for everyone out there who is worried about that sudden upgrade to Anakin and wondering why it costs so little.
Beautiful. I think he still costs too little.
All right, so let's get back to the kind of action here and the maneuvering and the kind of now everyone's collapsing into one place. You've got Anakin trailing behind. You've got the arcs who are just kind of diving in here. You've got Paul who's definitely going to be limited by this ionized red bomber. But what do you see here, Jesse, in terms of the positioning for next round?
Is there a way to get rid of, like, red is just in the way now, right? Like, that's actually really bad because he can't 2-bank the squad in.
Yep.
Which is probably what he wants to do. So I think you got to get a little creative here. Yellow really wants to line up a Discord shot as well. So he needs to bank in or even hard turn to threaten red with that. You really want to get those munitions off so that you leave your points on the board, like you were saying. Then the rest of the guys, I'm not sure if you go straight or if you play short and joust for one more turn.
I mean, could you almost think about
red guy? He's in the way.
Right, exactly. I mean, could you almost think about like turning some of these guys up one hard, like maybe brown turns up, blue turns up, and green, and maybe then yellow takes a big wide bank around. I'm just trying to think of ways to split the swarm up. I mean, to get them.
Yeah, I mean that's usually how you want to pin down an ace, right? Is point your guns in different directions. But I think the targets here are probably the 104s that you have damaged already. I don't think you need to quite split up just yet.
Okay.
So yellow is probably most predictable, and these things do have a 1 straight. So I guess you could actually move the whole swarm up only 1 point, preventing a K turn behind you. Maybe you do actually focus fire one more turn.
Yeah.
Before you try to turn in on anybody and spread those arcs out.
Yeah, I think from a damage output standpoint, and making sure you have the most guys shooting this round is probably the right call. I mean, yellow will probably not shoot. Maybe it depends on how far, like the one forward plus where the yellow arc goes. It's not guaranteed that yellow gets a shot or the yellow bomber gets a shot this round. But I think the rest of them you can probably get yourself. I mean, pink's also a kind of a borderline case, but less so than yellow. But you can probably get yourself 4 shots on the yellow arc just by going one forward with your whole group here.
So since we know that, how do you get yellow out or move him in a way that's different? You could too hard to the right, and then kind of go in front of green there. Does that buy you anything? You definitely hit the Discord missile, and then you're still staring down like probably brown shot. I don't know. Craig might try to get a little cagey here.
Yeah. I'm curious to see what he does, or if he just kind of says, I want my arcs getting shots this round. Just go through this cloud and just get up close and see what happens.
Right.
But that's the one thing is both these arcs have a good chance for range 1 shots, but both will be unmodified shots, which is always it's always the crapshoot in this variance-driven game. So, all right, a big 2 hard here from green, looking to use him as a blocker potentially, depending on how fast Craig went. Not that it matters too much this round with him passing the gas cloud anyways, but yellow, here's a 2 hard from him. We're going to see 3 hard from blue. So he's accepting a bump from red to get everybody else turned into the fight here. And we'll see where, I'm curious where blue will end up now for him, because blue is also in a tricky spot based on where all these ships have gone. So brown taking that hard turn, 1 up the board.
I mean, blue could 3 hard right in there. I think it fits, right?
That's true, yeah, it will.
But man, I really hope for Paul's sake, Craig didn't too hard the yellow arc to his board.
Yeah. Right. That would be a real problem. All right, so Paul thinking about order here and actions. I'm not sure if he's thinking about a reposition on red or not. I'm sorry, on brown or not. I don't know what that would buy him.
I mean, it buys him. He's taking the cloud next turn, but right. I don't. When you got the swarm, you really want that calculations. And you probably want it this turn.
Here's that bump from red. Clears.
Red bump.
Clears that ion. Will take no action because it bumped. And then we'll see where blue ends up as he flips it here. Blue doing a 1 hard to bumping himself there. Okay, so only 4 network calculate tokens to take advantage of this round. So a little less, effective numbers here. But we'll see now where Craig ended up and see which ships he activates here first, which will probably tell us a lot.
Just anxiously awaiting here. Yeah, I want to see what Craig. Is he thinking about? No, you can't you would have already system phased with Anakin, and he didn't. Right. I'm actually not seeing Craig's hand move. Do we have Craig?
I still don't see him connected.
Oh, there we go. Now we're moving.
Now
maybe it was AFK for just a second.
The crit that the ships take from the Discord, the droid swarm, the buzz droids, does that happen during engagement phase? I always forget when that hits.
Let me find that.
All right, there's
at the start of engage, you would launch it, and then when you engage, you suffer 1 crit.
Yeah. Now there's the fun thing is that there is no ability for that buzz droid to be put in the front of the ship, so it will go to the back.
Right.
Right now, for what that means.
But if it can't fit on the back, so it overlaps the obstacle there, and therefore it just blows up. I believe that's how that works, right?
Oh, if the obstacle can prevent it from attaching, doesn't look. Big 3 bank from green bumps, and he's going to take a couple range 1 shots with only 5 health to give. So we'll see. So we're going to take.
Oh no, I think it works on a rock like you're saying. I haven't seen that card in forever.
So Craig just rolled a die for got a crit result for that gas cloud. So no strain for green, which is good for the range 1 shot he's going to take from somebody here. Now you got Wolf coming in as well.
Yep.
Now looks like green's gonna have a range one shot only on red, which would seem good, but that's a lot of damage to put potentially into a ship with only 1 health left. So could be wasting a lot of green's offense this round, unfortunately. But we do have Wolf and
You mean
yellow.
the green arc
The
has
green
a
arc.
shot on the red bomber?
Yes,
Right.
who's almost dead.
Oh, that is real close. But yeah, I think you're right.
Well, I guess there's a rear shot. I we got a rear shot on green as well. So he's got a choice to make here, whether he wants to kind of guarantee a red kill or try to put some damage into green, because yellow does have a shot on red as well.
Well, green is bumped though, so you average 2 hits on a 4 dice attack.
Mm-hmm.
With just naked. So I still think you shoot the 4 dice gun into red. Make sure he's gone.
Sure. All right, so everyone has moved. Anakin turning away, and we'll see what action that Anakin takes. I think now trying to get. I mean, is the problem? This is one of those problems here where, like, normally you would say, okay, great, Anakin's in a good position to kind of swing through here and flank, but flanking is always a dangerous proposition with these droids, and also they can turn.
Yeah, that's true.
So.
Well, only half their bombs are on there, right? Because the other half are floating out in the middle of nowhere.
You got two-thirds of their bombs still in the chamber, so there's a lot of bombs.
I like this setup for Anakin for next turn. You get the whisper barrel roll out 1 hard in option next turn.
So I missed who the shot was from. I think it's from Wolf onto somebody, but he's gonna put 4 hits into somebody. I
think it's into green. They didn't tab, but I think I saw a fist there.
Yeah. So we're gonna see a calculate spent from Brown here, who was bumped into green, so he's not gonna be shooting green. So 2 hits.
It was green.
Oh, that's sorry. That's into red. Really, from Wolf?
No, it's green.
Oh, there you go. It's green. It's green. Okay, cool.
Yep.
All right. So two hull off of green. Now we'll see yellow. Looks like yellow's gonna try to finish off red here.
Yellow's gonna try to take the shot. Yep.
Yep. And then gives green some options. Needs to put 1 damage into red to end his day. Will only roll 1 hit though with no focus.
He doesn't have a focus. Wow.
So if we see any pain,
as long as we don't double blank out, yeah, he's got it.
Dead red, and now puts green in the position to potentially waste his shot to kill red, which looks like he still barely has a corner of him. Yeah. So
that
now
is so close.
Yeah. So green's gonna shoot red, and that's really unfortunate because that's 2 shots, 2 arc shots. Granted unmodified, but still very very close range to take out 1 health off of 1 ship.
Right. Yep, we got green arc into red bomber.
So it's 3 health, so that'll kill red.
Yep.
But now red doesn't have to worry about spending anything because he knows he's dead. So red's gone. And yeah, I mean, now you're going to have 5 return shots from this droid swarm, all pretty much close range, in exchange for that 1 damage you did on red. So we'll see how. I mean, it's not necessarily a great trade for Craig here, so we'll see how well it goes. See if we can mitigate some of this, and see if he loses an arc in the process.
I fully expect him to lose 1 arc, right? Probably green. And if he can put some significant damage into yellow as well, he only has 1 shot on yellow. He's going to have to split his fire into red then. You're right.
Yeah, but
yellow's going to have to run the gauntlet here with bombs and the crit droid.
Yep. So we're going to see, hopefully, Paul. Well, Paul's going for Wolf.
Did he take the damage? I don't think he did.
For the buzz droid?
Yeah.
I don't think so either. That's important for the crit that'll result from that. We have green going into Wolf, who is unmodified, and Wolf will take 2 of those. I'm kind of surprised that he's choosing to shoot at Wolf, but maybe he sees a couple of juicy range 1 shots, but he still has 2 shots in the back. We'll see how it works here.
Yeah, and I think I would ensure that you can take out a target first, which would have been green.
Because green's going to have a range 1 shot out of the rear, most likely next round, without worrying about prox mines. But all right, so another shot from Brown into the red arc is going to do 1 more damage on. So that's Wolf. So Wolf also shields down now. So I mean, early on here, Paul putting a fair amount of damage into these arcs with just his kind of primary shots from the droid. So, despite losing 1 droid, the fact that he has 5 fully healthy bombers, I think at this point is pretty good news for Paul as far as the damage race is concerned.
I will clarify, I was wrong on buzz droids. I clearly don't know what I'm talking about. It's initiative 0, so that's when the buzz droids do their damage.
Got it.
After everybody.
Understood.
They have an initiative value on their own.
Gotcha.
Yep.
All right, so I think this is a shot from blue into green, doing 2 damage. Sorry, the blue bomber into the green arc. Yeah, so it's going to put 2 more damage, or sorry, 1 more damage into green.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're going to see pink. Was that pink or yellow? I forget which one he marked there.
It was pink that they pinged. Yeah.
Someone's going into green here. Okay, pink will go into green first. Still has access to calculate tokens. Could spend them both right here to.
I can only use one.
Oh, sorry, only one.
Network calculations.
Right. So, yep. But still going to put 2 damage into green.
Mm-hmm.
So green, with a unfortunate shot here, could still die. Only 2 health left to give, and 1 more shot incoming.
Yep.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's nice to have Wolf down 3 shields, but you kind of wish that green was there maybe to potentially finish off. Sorry, the green bomber to finish off the green arc.
I really hope it works out for Paul here. If he misses this by a damage, he's gonna regret not shooting green with green.
All right, so
close.
2 hits.
He's got the potential here. Yep.
Yep. Let's see if we can get a blank or a focus result from the green bomber. A natural evade will save him for 1 more round.
We got a 3/8
chance.
Oh,
it just rolls onto the side and it gets the evade result. So yeah, he will live to fight 1 more day. So that does put points on the board for Paul. He does have half on that ship, but Craig is still up by 13 points, having destroyed that red bomber from Paul.
Yep. Craig using the Wolfpack upgrade to pick that target lock up, which will be very valuable this next turn whenever he inevitably K turns or just shoots out the butt.
What is that crit there?
Damage sensor array can't perform actions except focus, and that is on yellow.
Yeah.
He likely was just going to focus anyway, so it's not too consequential.
Yeah, I think that is not the worst crit he could have gotten for that. But the buzz droid is still attached. It'll still come with him, presumably if it has room to reattach itself. And once he moves, the player, Paul, gets to choose whether it goes front or back, correct? I always forget how that works.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, at least I believe. I've been wrong on buzz droids with everything else so far. So once again, these proxy mines that yellow and pink wants to drop. First of all, green can't drop it because pretty sure the template, just like we saw in Anakin's match, would miss the 104th and hit the bomber. So that's no good.
Yep.
And then yellow and pink, I kind of think you can just too hard with that yellow arc and avoid the bombs here behind Paul's squad.
Yeah, I think
so. A little unfortunate bombing run once again here.
Yeah, we're seeing this weird situation where it just by just a very small margin, you're gonna be able to turn away from that bomb and avoid it just based on the kind of geometry of that one forward and the circle of the proximity mine. So it is kind of interesting though about the with the disabled power regulator. I'm sorry, the damage sensor array on yellow arc. He cannot barrel roll off of that buzz droid until he repairs that. So he will be taking taking a crit on this round and maybe even the next round until he is able to clear that crit and then barrel roll off of it.
Yep, that's very true. So the other buzz droid is loaded onto yellow. I kind of wish he had shot it there. I think it would have hit red, right?
Yeah, almost certainly.
I don't know why he's hanging on to it unless he just didn't remember about it.
With 6 ships, all with these many triggers on them, it might have just been a
miss there, for sure. But I can't keep up myself just spectating it.
I mean, honestly, so. I'd forgotten that yellow ship had it until you mentioned it, so I can But then again, I've not played this list as many times as Paul has. But yeah, we'll see. So Brown, was going to go over that gas cloud unless he, I don't think he's turning one. Well, do you go for a block with Brown? Do you one hard to left and hope that the green arc tries to clear that strain by going forward?
Brown unfortunately doesn't have any proxy mines left. Is that right? No, that's red up there at the top. Brown, where is Brown? Oh, Brown has one. Yeah, I kind of think you do. I think you one hard to the left, and if you get a block on green's one straight, then awesome. And if green overlaps him, then he's just probably going to die anyway.
Yeah.
So
It is nice to know that if you're able to block Brown going away from, block the green arc going away from him with the Brown bomber, you can basically guarantee a kill next round, and so you don't even have to worry about shooting him this round.
that's true. Yeah, you could just drop the mine.
Mm-hmm.
It is unfortunate that green is not off the table this turn.
Yeah.
So with Anakin, I think you keep your distance though with Anakin.
Mm-hmm.
We hadn't talked about him, but I did mention it last time. I think he's primed for the little whisper move, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like the defender, like Whisper always did the candy cane, right?
Yep.
Like declare to the left and then one hard. Everybody knows it's coming. It's still the best move.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see how he could pre-position barrel roll or pre-position boost, right? You could
Mm-hmm.
boost through the rock and then one hard in, then you're behind the swarm, but that doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
Seems okay just to kind of keep that cloud between you and the swarm here.
Yeah, agreed. Now just do a quick
But
clock.
he does have some options.
Yeah. To do a quick clock check here. How much time do they have left on their official game clock?
34 minutes.
Okay. So we, just about 10 seconds fast on our game clock on the overlay, but more than half the game has now elapsed. So we've kind of thought about this as up until this point it's been pretty much a droids versus arcs matchup. But yeah, you mentioned that Anakin's still kind of primed here to do the little candy cane and get back into this offensively. But at the same time, like Anakin's your kind of closing piece, right? He's your ace that sticks around and kind of takes the points to the end game. But if Paul is able to get enough of these arcs off the table, or enough points from these arcs, with the amount of time left, it may become less of a end game piece, is more kind of a liability in terms of the fact it's been taking this long to get into the fight. So
yeah, it's true. Yeah, he is a quarter of Craig's list that he hasn't used yet. All right, I like both these maneuvers so far. Anakin candy caning out and Brown one harding to the left, like we said, avoids that cloud. Pink going for the trap as well, who also has a bomb loaded up that will now probably hit blue.
Well, I think the nice thing too is you've got both Brown and Pink now are calculate batteries for a blue shot and a wolf as well. So even though they both banked out, they gave, well, I guess you can only spend one, but for defense and offense. So gave them the chance to have an action as opposed to bumping, and provide a calculate. So I kind of So it's curious. Yellow didn't drop approximate round, but I guess we, just in case that too hard to the arcs left happened. There we go. A big 4K from the green arc. So avoiding the trap of the prox mine, but will definitely. I mean, facing two calculated up ships will probably die this round, but maybe we'll get a range one shot in return.
Yeah, and he does have his target lock from last round on the yellow bomber, which is the furthest one away. So that's pretty beneficial for Paul.
Yeah. So taking that shot would negate the ability to use any kind of focused fire here from the yellow arc, but is only modification that he has available to him right now. So we see Wolf turning away, and because I believe, has Wolf not used his reroll ability yet, so he does not get to use his extra die out of the rear with the Wolf ability at the moment. I don't think he's flipped that charge yet, unfortunately. So we'll be only rolling 3 dice.
I want to talk about this Anakin Talon roll here.
Oh, I missed that.
That was not in my breadth of possibilities for Anakin.
The purple Talon roll. What a play.
Yeah. So first of all, they need to move. Oh, hey, we finally got the Discord out from yellow, and it does hit red. Nice. That's going to go right on front there. And what we didn't remember about bombs, about these Discord missiles, Tom, is that if you don't put the template on it, then you leave it behind. So yellow just leaves that
right. That's
Discord behind.
That's why you want it in the front. I forgot about that. Yeah, exactly right. Yep. I knew there was a catch to having it in the front arc versus the rear. So yeah, so yellow will no longer be taking automatic crits, but red and a little bit of a bind here. We'll see barrel rolls off of it.
So we get a little plank shot here from Anakin. 2 dice shot, not out since it's not in the bullseye, and it's going through a gas cloud into green. Oh, I take that back. He's gonna shoot the Discord missiles.
What a classic prequel play right here. You're gonna, with his Anakin, brashness, gonna pinpoint accuracy, take these buzz droids off of the arc.
Yep.
Only doing 1 hit though, and those buzz droids survive.
Anticlimactic. Well, he did as much damage to that buzz droid as he likely was going to do the bomber, so all good.
Yep. So
and probably a smart move.
Yeah, so here's that 3 dice shot. This is Wolf, but just clarify for people viewing, Wolf has not re-rolled yet out of the front arc to flip that token, so only rolling 3 dice out of the back here at range 1. He's going to be spending that focus for 2 hits.
Yep, you
And
did that.
the bomber will presumably spend its calculate, I would imagine. 'Cause I don't think.
Gonna spend somebody's, yeah.
Yeah, so green's
There
going
we
to
go.
green's going to take a hit here, but only 1. So green down
He is
to
down to half though.
yeah. Green has got 3 damage into him. So that extends Craig's lead to 29 points here. And now we're going to see a green shot into green. So green on green violence here, and trying to take that green off the table here, but only doing 1 damage. Won't be enough no matter what green rolls. So good news, I think, for Paul here, and the fact that he will not have any kind of range 1 shots into brown or pink, which could do some serious damage. So we're going to see probably 1 more damage into green here. That is the last shot after, I think yellow's left, but that doesn't, yellow can't shoot green, so I don't believe he has
Correct.
I don't believe he has a calculate to spend either.
I don't think he has either. Yeah, I think pink and brown are out of range.
Mm-hmm.
So he's checking range. Oh, this is bugged. It showed the range 2 range, even though he clicked range 1, so they're gonna have to do this manually.
The old-fashioned way.
Yep.
Just gonna take the damage. I think it's pretty obvious he's not at range 1, so
Yeah,
taking damage there. So green down to 1 hull, but still alive, importantly for him. And now yellow taking his shot on either brown or pink. Take the range 1 shot at pink. So we'll see
Yep.
4 dice into 2 unmodified for Craig, and with calculates to spend for pink.
And both are undamaged here.
Mm-hmm.
So hit crit. Oh, never mind.
1 hit.
Just grab those dice.
1 hit.
Just hit.
Yeah, unfortunate roll there. And we will see him probably spend a calculate, which I think he would here.
I think you should.
To put
yeah,
1 damage.
You've only got 2 shots going into.
Yeah.
Okay. I think you spend the calculate there. You're throwing it into a strained arc.
Right. I forgot he's strained too. So
you,
yeah, almost certainly. I'm surprised.
I know you need that arc off
yeah.
the table, but I think you spend it when you got it.
Yeah. Rolling 4 dice looking for 1 hit. I think, or 6 dice.
Yeah, I think dead.
Yeah.
Yep.
So an unfortunate extra damage he didn't need to take there, but
correct.
not the end of the world.
Yep.
So now that Craig lead is shrunk to 6 points as green comes off the table, we're back to activation here. Red in a little bit of a pickle here. Going to take him. Has he taken his crit yet for this round? Or we still have more shots. I'm sorry. We still have more shots.
After. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So blue here shooting at red range 2. Paul did not have to spend that calculate, so he's got 1 calculate at his disposal. On pink or brown. Only getting 1 hit though, so we'll see 1 back. Another hit into Wolf. First damage on Wolf into Hull. We're going to see a shot here, range 1 but obstructed, so 3 dice against 2. Wolf unfortunately still with no tokens. Two hits coming in.
That's pretty good.
We'll do 1 because
It's
of the
pretty
gas
bad.
cloud. Yep. So another hit on Wolf, down to 4 hull. And that is a half Wolf, so for the first time this game with 26 minutes left to play, Paul has taken the lead by 19 points. Ooh, a nice, just barely nicking the side of that piece. Gonna take a range 1 shot. And again, an unmodified. I want to do 1 hit, but still no tokens here for. Oh,
I think he's checking that
range 1. It's close.
Sure.
It's close.
It is really close.
Oof. This might be a judge's call time if they can't resolve it.
This might be, yeah.
This is real close.
I'll let them call me if they need.
Oh, I can see it balancing on 1 to the other. I think they might call this range 1. Just 1 hit. Never mind. Range 2, but we'll still take it. So another damage to Wolf. So Wolf down to 3 hull. He's gonna take a crit here at the end of the round anyway, so we'll be down to 2 hull. Let's see what this crit is. A fuel leak. That will trigger if he does not get rid of that.
That means.
Yeah.
Yep. The droids will kill him if he doesn't get rid of them.
So the only way to do that is to barrel roll, which means no modifications and a stressed Wolf. So more bad news for Craig here. He's got Wolf 2 health with buzz droids, definitely threatening his life here. He's got a dead green arc and he's got a yellow arc on 5 hull. Now on the other side of the table, we've got Paul with 1 dead bomber, one down to 1 hull, and the rest almost untouched except for pink at 4 hull.
Mm-hmm.
And little Anakin over there, still looking to
Yeah,
get a
Craig
shot.
needs to get Anakin in the fight here. So I would once again expect the Candy Cane Whisper move, like barrel roll out, give you a little bit of distance, and then perhaps just a 1 bank. They have that, right?
I think they do. Let's bring up the dial here on the overlay.
ETA active.
So
Yeah,
they've got
nope, they don't.
no 1 bank. They've got 1 hards and all the 2s, including the 2 Talon rolls which we saw before, and all the 3s.
Yep. Yeah, he needs to leverage Annie's points here if he's going to start picking off some droids. Green is prime for picking though. Yellow is untouched, so the target priority here is green, and then pink is the only other one damaged. I think you recapped that a moment ago. So let's see. I think you can get some bomb damage off too if you're Paul onto the 104th, the yellow.
Yeah.
Hits yellow. Looks like I believe that bomb will hit.
I believe so too.
Don't think his blue hits. I think his green hits. And pink is pretty close, but I think because of the roundness, the bulk, the bulge of the proxy mine, then I think it'll actually tag yellow's corner too.
Yeah,
so I think he can get 3 bombs here.
I think you're right. Green. It's hard to tell from this angle I'm looking at, but you think green's gonna tag yellow?
Yeah, because it goes back a template and then it goes back a template and a half for the bomb. So it's going to be right in the middle of yellow, and then that's where the beginning of the bomb is. So of the yellow bomber, I mean. So I think you can get 3.
Yeah, 1.5 base length. This is the description of a guy who's played proximity mines before and knows how to drop them. I never thought about the actual their relationship to the movement template. So good to know that.
It's estimate. I mean, it's close, but
but good estimate.
Gets you what you want.
I mean, having a kind of eyeball length is better than not having one at all. So it's good to know. That's kind of the general idea for how those prox mines work from a diameter standpoint.
Yeah, of course, I pretend to be the proxy mine expert, but I only brought 1 in my list. So I would have to play 6 games to each one of Paul. So Paul has played significantly more proxy mines than me at this point. I don't know how many I've played, but it is not near as many as Paul has played in this tournament.
Yeah. Well, let's see how bold Paul gets with those prox mines, because if those prox mines do drop and they all hit, that is a very, very bad day for yellow, because that'll be 3 automatic damage, and then all he's got to roll on 6 red dice is 2 hits to die before he gets to shoot this round.
Yeah, you expect each one to do 2 total damage, so very likely it'll die. And you get to roll them all individually, so you can stop as soon as it's dead.
Exactly right.
Hopefully Paul will see that. We'll see some good bomb drop in here. That said, Anakin is kind of not quite in a flanking position, so he's going to be threatened here by yellow and blue. I think you K-turn with brown and pink and just try to get them back in the fight as soon as possible.
Yeah, agreed. All right, here's our first bomb drop of the round.
We're doing it.
Flipping his charge up in the air just as a flourish here.
One little David slingshot, right?
There's our first rock from the slingshot. So that's gonna be automatic damage on yellow, and we'll see what Craig rolls. Again, maximum disrespect, making your opponent roll the damage here.
I love that. Yeah.
And he will do 2 damage. That's gonna be 3 into yellow. So we're looking at 2 hull left on yellow, with probably 1, if not 2 bombs left, depending on how bold Paul is here and how confident he is. And he is confident. This is the confidence of a man who's dropped a bomb before. Pink coming out here, he sees that it's gonna hit. And we see it right here. It's pretty obvious now the template's on the board. This will definitely hit yellow. All he's got to do is drop 2 damage.
Yep.
Sorry, one hit on 2 red dice, and that is the end of the day for yellow and a bigger climb for Craig. Let's see what he rolls. See you later, yellow. His day is done.
I believe in the mines. Hell yeah, this is awesome. I'm enjoying this timeline.
I mean, you can see how that was wow, good placement on those mines there, Paul, and good job getting that lined up. And unfortunate for Craig, where yellow ended up there after the bump. So without shooting a single shot, Paul has taken that yellow arc from 5 hull down to nothing, and now is extended.
And that's the power of this, like, of the munitions that happen outside of attack phase, right?
Yep.
I mentioned it before that whenever I had it on Duchess, I felt like my 3-ship list actually had 4 guns. And they have 4 guns separately to the fact that, like, the arcs have 4 guns because they have 2 different, a front and a back arc, but you have to choose one, right? So the fact that you can shoot and drop bombs and launch discords, like, there's so much threat on the table and opportunity for damage.
Exactly right. And now we're seeing blue turn away. I wonder if this is a purposeful move to maybe bring both his whole list back to his left side of the table, maybe move with green to and drop a bomb or something to form a wall between that rock and the gas cloud. I'm just curious what he's going to do here with green and yellow.
I honestly think blue was a precautionary move in the event that he did not kill the arc.
Gotcha. Gotcha. But here's the rest of his
now
list turning out. Yeah.
Now yellow's also going that way, so might change my opinion. But that's kind of what I'm thinking there.
And loses that
green.
Loses that target lock for the dead yellow or dead green ship. Yeah. So right now, I also put this in, so maybe eliminating the possibility of a nice rear shot from red. Now we're gonna hopefully Craig remembers here to barrel roll out and get rid of that buzz droid, or else he will lose red. He will lose wolf at the end of his turn as well.
I bet he's gonna remember. I mean, I think that's why he tried to get distance there too, is to open that up.
Yeah, there's the barrel roll off with the buzz droid. Yeah,
and the fact that they are having to manually grab the thing, like, it's pretty. You see it.
Craig, the seasoned player here, there's no doubt in his mind that he would take care of that buzz droid. But that does mean Wolf is going to be out of this fight for a little while, and Wolf only got 2 health anyways. So right now it's kind of Anakin. It's kind of the Anakin show here. Anakin against 5 droid bombers. I mean, Wolf will get a shot this round, but it's still a rear shot, 2 dice at range 3. So
you got to watch out for green too. Green's going to poop out a proxy mine if Anakin doesn't take him off the table here. And it's real close on the bullseye here, Tom. It's real close. Oh my God.
No bullseye. Yes.
Is most likely unobstructed
I think it is
at
bullseye.
range 2
according to the chat.
Bullseye. It isn't. Yeah, if we go by the chat.
He's got to push the damage, though. He's got to push the damage. He has to go green.
He's got to push 2 damage.
No, green's at 1.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So there's the Predator reroll. We'll guarantee the kill on green here. That was super important for that very reason. Because that would have done it right there. Anything less than 3 damage there, green survives another day. I don't know what the reason is for spending the... Oh, I guess he's going to die anyways. So there's the dead green. Taking a direct hit, no matter what, off the table.
Make it dead. Yep.
Yeah. So what Craig needed to do here with 17 minutes left, get that green off the table, get that threat of the prox mine off the table. Very, very important. So now the score is a lead of 45 points for Paul here, which means more than 1 bomber. Bomber and a half, essentially. And everything else on Paul's side of the table is fully healthy except for pink at 1 damage in. So a lot of stuff can happen, but a lot of work here, and suddenly Paul's droids will be facing Anakin head on here.
Yeah, Wolf is out of the fight. The arcs have done a little bit of preparatory damage. They've fluffed the swarm, and now the stallion is coming in, right? So I don't know if Stallion Anakin can take on 4 angry droids, but that's what he's got to do at this point. We'll see.
We'll find out.
Oh, we get a bonus wolf shot. I didn't think about this.
Yeah, so 2 against 3 here with a calculate. No mods, unfortunately, so just the 1 hit. I think
there's 1 paint.
Shouldn't there be a stress on Wolf as well for that barrel roll, I believe?
It's on there. It's under the base.
Oh, I see. Now, okay,
or under the model. Yeah.
Yep. All right, so I think now we'll be back to... I don't think we have any shots in Anakin here. Everybody's still too far out of range.
Yeah, I don't think any, but I think that's it. If they did have shots, they're meaningless through a cloud.
Yeah. All right. So back to dials here. 16 minutes on the clock. Still plenty of time here for more than a couple turns, but Craig with some ground to make up. But if there's anybody who can make up ground, it's Craig with Anakin in that Actus.
Oh, for sure. Let's see, what are Anakin's options here? This is what I like now. So you gotta do damage. So there's only so long that actually, what's the point score, Tom?
So Paul's up by 45, so he's gonna need to take out a bomber and a half.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah. So Anakin probably can't really afford to barrel roll to the right and 1 hard away and then like boost around, right?
Yeah.
He probably just has to 2 bank again into where yellow is, because he's kind of has that lane open, or even, let's see, how else could you do this? You could like 4 straight and then set up for next turn, which would be a barrel roll and then one hard turn.
Yeah.
There's a couple of paths that Anakin could take here.
Mm-hmm.
And with Wolf, you just too hard as fast as possible and try to get back in the fight. I feel like you need that.
Yeah. No.
Do you need that gun, or do you save your points? Like, I kind of think you need the gun because you're down, right?
Yeah, but man, I mean, it's a rock and a hard place because sitting on 2 health,
Yeah.
I mean, like Wolf is easy to chew through at this point and bank those 25 points or 24 points, and that's again that negates half a bomber that maybe Anakin's done on his turn. So, I think you still bring him in. I think you need his guns on balance, but it's still not like a great proposition to have to bring a almost dead ship back into a fight.
Right. So if you're Paul, you're ahead. You know you're ahead, so you play like you're ahead. So you bail out. You make Anakin come to you away from those clouds more than likely, and group up. So I wonder if he drops a buy-in here with yellow.
I like closing the gap there. I mean, it's not going to close it off completely, probably at a third of it at most, but I think it's still an interesting idea to funnel Craig even more through that. But it doesn't do it. Never mind. So moot point.
Wait, did he not bump there? Oh wow.
Yes.
Oh, well that'll do it. If
if Anakin comes to the gap here, that could be a real problem with the Prox Mine. So that was a great move by Paul there. Definitely a seasoned Swarm player doing a perfect move to not bump blue and then barrel roll back. If Anakin chooses this lane next round, he is in a world of hurt with that Prox Mine unless he gets in real close.
All right, I love this sequence here.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
So for a setup from a swarm, overlaying his arcs, separating his threat, making sure Anakin doesn't have a lane to go down unless he did the 4 straight, which has problems on its own. But
there's that too hard. He's gonna slowly bring his guy back in here. Let's see what. Probably fix that fuel leak. I imagine. Oh no, he's still stressed. I'm sorry. That's right.
No, he's stressed. Right. So he's just trying to turn around. Yeah, he's. Yep.
Okay, Anakin playing cagey here.
Playing it safe. Yeah.
But even if Anakin doesn't take the lane this round, it does. You probably. But that Proxima hits him, so you got to bail out. Oof. That is a tough decision to make if you're Craig. It's the right one to I think to boost out there, but still not the one you want to make with the time on the clock.
No, it is not. Yeah, he's definitely like in a rock and a hard place, right? Like you said. And this 6D chess bomb wall by Paul is now going to play into this game, right? Because now Anakin can't take like a lazy 3 hard around this anymore.
Exactly. Yeah, it happened, God, like 60 minutes ago, but now it is unbelievably important for making Anakin have only one choice.
Yes,
what a play! I mean, I gotta tell you, I am thrilled to see how this game has gone. I mean, not necessarily a score, but the way that the strategy and the kind of punching and counter punching that's happened so far. I mean, really, what a match this has been.
Paul's got the different universes swirling around his head. Me and you are just watching this Stone Age game.
Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. So yeah, this is what you get when you have players who have played their lists and have played each other, and it is an elevated version of X-Wing here, and kind of the they're both inside each other's heads in ways that we can't even pretend to be.
Can you even get around that? Can you one hard and then boost with Anakin? Gross. That sucks.
I guess I could just do like a pre-position like barrel to the right and then a heart and then one.
Yeah.
But man, it's not good options here.
This might be another 2 Talon roll just to get your arc back in that direction.
Yeah, I kind of like that. I like that a lot. Shoot the other gap.
Yeah.
But you can almost see, yellow dropping a mine this round, and then brown taking maybe a lazy 1 bank so he can drop a mine the next round to close that gap in case Anakin decides to go to that. So you could potentially close off both of these holes in 2 turns here before Anakin can get back in the fight. This is wild. I mean, this is. We've seen.
Yeah, and then you just sit here in your little corner. You've built your house of bricks, right?
Yeah, right.
And you just hang out waiting for the wolf to try to get through this.
Yeah.
So
because I guess Anakin doesn't want to fly through a mine to get to these guys because that all it takes is 2 damage, 1 bad roll, and you're down to half on Anakin and the game's over. So, all right, so no drop on yellow. Yellow's gonna come back into his little house over here like you described it.
I thought he would drop there.
Yeah, I thought so too. But it's again, Paul has already played that 6D chess you mentioned with these mines. Maybe he's got some more tricks up his sleeve.
Yep.
So 2 Talon there from Pink. I think,
Yes, I like it. You
yeah.
just hang out, you
Hmm.
wall up that side, and you live in this corner for
Yep.
10 minutes.
Yep. Exactly right. No one can get behind you if your back's to the wall, and if one of your walls is reinforced by prox mines.
Yep.
Yeah, this is absolutely fascinating game. I know Craig does not want this to go to a second game, especially because that puts
No, he doesn't at
him on the
all.
bubble.
Yeah.
But secretly, I would mind seeing this game replayed again because this is X-Wing at its finest right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is great.
And just to remind people who are tuning in, if they've missed late, this is the championship match of the Labyrinth Squadron 2020 tournament. This is a double elimination style tournament, so Craig has gotten here by way of his 3-0 finish in the qualifying rounds. Paul lost one but fought his way back through the second chance bracket. So if Paul wins this game, we will see a second game because Paul needs to beat Craig twice to be declared champion, which right now is looking okay for him. But there still are 9 minutes left in the clock and only 46 points for Craig to make up. So anything can happen at this point. So we're at the edge of our seats
Mm-hmm.
over here. This is a shot from Anakin
Got a
onto
nice little
blue.
pot shot here from
Yep.
Anakin. Yep. Yeah, yeah.
He's going to spend his last force there. So Anakin now 4-starved.
I kind of think you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, that's. Yeah.
An unfortunate roll from
Uh,
Paul in terms of Craig there. So no damage into blue.
I do think you spend the token. There's argument for the focus token.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think you have to push down. You have
Yes.
to take every opportunity you can to take damage here.
Agreed.
So.
All right. So we're going to see 2 against 4 here. It's still focus for Anakin. So the return shot from blue.
Yep.
2 damage into it. So let's see what Craig rolls. Craig will skate out of this with his focus token. No damage.
I mean, just barely, but yep.
Now this is one of those. So now we're at the point of the game where it's like when you're playing sports as a kid and you're down. For the person who's down, that clock couldn't be going any faster, and for Paul that clock is slowed to a snail's pace. So
That's very true.
just about 8 minutes left here. Paul still up by 45 points. Again, that's a bomber and a half. But we do have that Ark, who's now no longer nearly as threatened by those bombers. But unfortunately, that big old rock in the way just makes it hard to sweep in there really quickly.
Yeah. He is lined up so that he can take a straight maneuver.
Mm-hmm.
I think. God, that's actually no. He'll hit it if he goes straight. And he's got to bank out one more turn.
Yeah, and then he'll stay stressed. So I think what we got to do is bank to clear that stress, like maybe a 2-bank clear, and then a 3-bank to come back in.
Correct. Anakin needs to contribute points to this game.
Mm-hmm.
Has been a problem here. Even from the start of the game. I mean, good on Paul for threatening Anakin, making him turn back around.
Mm-hmm.
And with these beefy arcs, hasn't quite had the playground of space that he's needed to maneuver around and line up shots like he has. How many times has Anakin shot? Has it been? I mean, 3 times.
If you include the buzz droids, I think 4, but none of them have been. Only one of them has been a quality shot, right? It was only that shot.
What's significant? On green. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So Pink will drop a bomb here. That is Pink's last bomb, but proximity mine. But I don't think that's a worry for Paul at this point. Yeah. I think he's used every single one of these prox mines for a real value. So he's closing off the wall behind him for that arc coming in. I mean, just. When you have 12 prox mines at your disposal, you can play positionally like this, and
wow, you can be judicious with them.
How brilliant has this been so far?
Yep.
So we got a pre-system phase barrel roll from Anakin. Curious if that's setting up either a big 3-bank through that gap or something a harder turn through the smaller gap between the prox mine and the gas cloud. We'll find out. But Paul banking on one of these, and I don't think he's too worried about the other one at this point.
And Anakin with no force, so. Continually 4-starved here.
Yep. So we'll see just a barrel. We'll see a bump on blue and barely clips that gas cloud by the smallest margin. So no calculate there for brown.
Yep.
Which could be significant.
Unfortunate. And that's gonna. All right, Paul. Yeah, don't bump. We need some mods here. Don't bump your whole squad. All right, we got it.
So gonna hit that rock.
Oof.
We'll see if he takes damage here. Hopefully skates out of this with no problem.
If that's a crit, Craig has a bad day.
That's totally fine.
All right, unscathed.
All right. Still keeps his stress though, and now a 2-bank. He's looking to kind of split difference. He can't barrel roll to the left. I think that rock blocks them all.
Correct. I do think I like the barrel roll to the right, though.
Get that bullseye shot on the Strain Brown with no tokens.
It's just unfortunate because he has no force. He has no mods.
That's right. So potential for bad news if that you get lucky. Yes, just gonna focus.
Yeah, that's probably best here.
I guess what this sets him up for next round, he's gonna have a bunch of obstructed shots, but I wonder if that gives him a chance to do a pre-move boost to the left and a 1 hard to finally get behind these guys.
Oh, that's true, actually. Yeah. That might be the move for Anakin. This could be a setup for next turn. Although next turn is becoming, short-lived here.
So not sure.
One hit.
What the three?
Yeah.
What's the third die coming from? Was that range 1 to Brown? I must have missed that. Okay, Brown totally fine.
It is range 2. I think they rolled an incorrect number of dice there. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh well.
Yeah.
It's fine. It didn't actually amount to any damage. So.
Right. So here we got yellow taking we got a bunch of pot shots at Anakin through a gas cloud, but again no modifiers.
I mean, all this does for Paul right now is wear the clock down.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah. So we're looking at 1 turn, I would imagine, left in this game with 4 minutes left in the clock, and that is not enough with 1 ship to get the points that Craig needs.
No.
And I mean, if you fly full bore away from that arc this round, that could be it. One last shot here. So far, nothing into Anakin, thanks to this gas cloud. But still, all it takes is 1 bad shot here. Or I guess
Anakin in a very good defensive position, but not good offensive. And man, you're really seeing the necessity to line up the bullseye with this Ada this game. Craig hasn't, like I mentioned, had a lot of room to move around, so his inopportune shots have been weakened even harder because of that. So
take a quick screenshot of this for posterity. That's just loving looking at that Proximine gas cloud setup right now.
The wad, yeah, that looks good.
So, but 2 minutes and about 45 seconds left in this game. Per the official game clock on the table, and kind of the tail of the tape here is we've got Paul up by 45, probably looking at 1 last round, which means Craig's got to do enough damage for a whole bomber plus a half, which with four bombers basically at full health, it's gonna be hard to see how that happens with only 2 ships on the table.
It's not impossible for Anakin to like nuke half. Well, he's got to kill 1.5, right? Yeah. So what do you aim at? Red's the only one who has taken damage.
I mean, I gotta be honest here. Outside of a lucky chain of crits, I think this game is
I don't think it's doable. Yep, I don't think it's doable.
You gotta basically put even if you get pink to half, you're looking at having to do 7 damage between 2 ships. You're gonna have a range 3 shot with your arc at best. You're gonna have 4 dice with Anakin at best. That's 7 red dice right there.
Yeah, you're right.
But Craig not calling it a day. He's going to fight this out to the bitter end. Unfortunately,
you go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Because you never know. A lucky chain of crits here, he could take a ship off the table. I mean, these are unshielded ships. So weird things can happen. And Craig, in this situation, may not win the battle here, but still looking to win the war in this 2-game championship.
Okay, so for next game, how do we change our strat so that we can take out these droids?
Well, that's the funny thing about this game. It's kind of like an elimination game in like a baseball, right? The guy who's on the bubble sends his ace out there, empties the bullpen, takes everything he can to kind of to stay in the game. The guy not in the bubble, has a chance to come back the next day. So Paul has used his strategy here of kind of building that initial wall, the prox mines, really showing how well he can maneuver these guys, leaving nothing in the tank essentially. And now Craig has a chance to react to that next game, which is because there probably will be a next game. All right, one hard from Pink here.
So Paul just gumming up the field here,
Yeah.
getting network calculations online.
Mhm.
Anakin's going to have a really hard time getting mods. I don't think he can actually. Wolf 2 harding in.
No mods for him. Still
Barely
stressed.
misses that mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a bump 4K, so no shot
Um,
for Anakin anyways. And that I mean,
wow.
again,
Wow.
bar,
That's it.
barring an absolute miracle on Craig's part with a shot from his arc. I mean, the biggest X-wing miracle I've ever seen. We're going to be going to a second game.
Yep. I think it would have to be such a big hit that it kills another bomber.
Yeah, right. That's actually true. Yeah, there's no way. No way. This is for
Yeah.
for his dignity here. See what he can do. Gets one hit.
We get
We
we
get a
get a
reroll from Wolf.
reroll. A sad reroll.
Yep. One hit. Blocked by the droid. That'll be the game. As time expires, how very appropriate
Jeez.
as this game comes to a close. Paul will roll his shots out here. I wonder if... I mean, while this is happening, though, we know the outcome of this game.
Yeah, we can just chat about it. Yep.
So just to recap the end of the game before we get to analysis, Paul will win this game 113 points to 68. He managed to kill both arcs and get half on Wolf. And more importantly, I think keeping Anakin out in any meaningful way for the entire game. And I think that was a kind of a real deciding point for this. But Jesse, if you had to kind of analyze this from start to finish, beyond some of these like Proxima and flourishes, what did you see on the table? What kind of stood out to you as a real game changer?
Chasing Anakin off, not letting Anakin, not giving up your flank to Anakin, and essentially keeping him out of the fight. While Craig was fighting with 75% of his list versus 100% of the droids. I think he really needs to leverage Anakin a little bit better in this next game so that he's fighting full 200 v 200 points.
Yeah.
I think that's what did it.
Absolutely.
So good job on Paul for making that happen. And yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, more to come. So again, thanks to everyone who tuned in for this Thursday night edition of Labyrinth Squadron broadcast, the championship match of our championship tournament here. Again, double elimination style. So you may have seen Paul triumphant tonight and saw that championship name on the overlay. It is not over yet. We've got one more game as Craig came from the winning side of the bracket and Paul came from the last chance side of the bracket. So we'll have one more game. TBD, probably this weekend. We'll let everyone know as soon as we know when that game is going to be scheduled. But we'll be right back here on Labyrinth Squadron streaming. And again, I want to thank our players tonight for a great, highly entertaining battle. I want to thank Jesse again for being across from me in the booth here virtually and providing some expert commentary. And I want to thank everyone out there for tuning in at this great match. And hopefully we'll see you next time, and we will finally resolve the champion of Labyrinth Squadron for 2020. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks, Tom.